Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call, please.
Testing.
Mayor Kapaz.
Here.
Mrs. Passio.
Here.
Mr. Ranieri.
Here.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Here.
Mr. Root.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Farrell.
Here.
Mr. Wood.
Here.
Mr. Bayshore.
Here.
Mr. Peoria.
Here.
And I see that there's a Mr. Law in the audience.
Here, Mr. Law. There you go. Very good. Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. One, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 4th, 2017, and two, emailed to the retrospect and courier post on January 4th, 2017. First, we have the approval of minutes. A motion is in order for the approval of minutes of the October 24th, 2017 and November 8th meetings submitted by the clerk, as each member has received copies of the same. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Reports.
We have the report of the police chief for the month of November. A total of $378.20 was collected for accident discovery, solicitor reports, and firearm permits. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the municipal court for the month of October. A total of $8,300.47 was collected in fines. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the municipal clerk for the month of November. A total of $4,572.20 was collected for various licenses and permits. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. We have the report of the registrar of vital statistics for the month of November. A total of $3,428 was collected for death copies, marriage copies, and one marriage license. All monies were turned over to the treasurer. For the report of the fire marshal for the month of November, a total of, $7,325.48 was collected in fire fees. There were 75 inspections completed, 119 EMS incidents, 41 fire incidents, 1 type 1 permit issued, and EMS fees collected for the month of November, $34,324.25, and all monies were turned over to the treasurer. The report of the tax collector for the month of, I have October and November. October, the amount collected was $1,590,571.67. And for the month of November, $3,183,098.58. And for the sewer collection for the month of October, $7,493 was collected. And for the month of November, $45,868.68. And that's all that.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the reports as read?
I so move. I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Ms. Passio. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, committee reports. Finance, Mr. Ranieri.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Good evening to all. I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. And to those who missed our Christmas party and our parade, try to make it next year because you missed a really good time. The parade was awesome, and the fire trucks were spectacular. Great job, Patty.
Thank you to you, my committee, and mayor and council.
You're very welcome. And the photo booth was a great addition, worked out really well. I'm hoping that you bring that back next year.
Wasn't that wonderful?
It was great. Fantastic. In finance, our new CFO is here, slash administrator. Welcome, Jim. Glad to have you on board. Jim started Monday and he's getting acclimated. I feel as though we're in good hands and he's already off and running. Jim, myself, and the mayor, and all of our department heads will be working together on our 2018 budget, which will be introduced after we get our tax rate certification, and that's approximately March 1st, and the rest is progress.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Public safety, Ms. Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor. The fire department had a very, very busy month in November. Their total fees in the EMS division were $34,900. $1,324.25. And for the year, fire and EMS fees are $365,024.11. That's quite a bit higher than last year, and we have 24/7 coverage, and it's been quite amazing to see how our men are responding and serving the community, not only our community, but the surrounding communities also. We do a lot in Belmar, in Barrington, and in Glendora. And the Fire Marshal's Office continues to be very active. The use of the cloud-based inspection program, along with the added part-time inspector, has proven to be a benefit to the office. And they've been able to streamline their operations so that they're more efficient. And as you can see, they made 75 inspections this past month. And it's really amazing how much they can accomplish. The fire department is very active. They responded to some active fires during the month. And they constantly train, and they are improving all the time. Our men are always in training. So this is really excellent by the fire department. I'm proud to give that report, Mayor. And I'll go on to our police department. Another busy month for our police this month. We had 624 calls for service. 271 summonses, traffic summonses were issued. There were 8 motor vehicle crashes. 136 arrests were made. They had 47.5 hours of overtime. And some of that was the DWI patrol. Bike patrol, we had 20 incidents for the year. And that's quite good, because our bike patrol starts in April, then it stops the end of July, then it picks up again in the fall when soccer comes over to the Green Acres. So it's amazing what that bike patrol has been able to do, and people applaud us all the time when they see the bikes out there. They come to me and say, I just love having those bikes in the park. So it's a great thing that we have. And there were no Narcan deployments this month, neither for the fire department nor the police department. And that's my report, Mayor.
Oh, very good.
Thank you, Eleanor.
Thank you. Public events. Ms. Benson.
Okay, I'm going to rely mostly on my report at caucus, because of course I talked about our parade. But I do want to tell everyone that our reorganization meeting will be on January at 6:30 p.m. January 2nd. January 2nd at 6:30 p.m. and then we will follow with our regular council meeting, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All arrangements have been made and are in order, and of course invitations will follow. But I do want to thank everyone who participated or who had any little thing to do with our Christmas tree lighting and our fire truck parade. It was simply, I mean, it just took my breath away with the amount of people that showed up and everything and all the help that I did have. So thank you very much to everyone. Mr. our police chief here, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, they did a great job, beautiful job. Thank you. And that's progress.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, boy. That's a great reorganization.
Put it in.
I am making sure. Okay,
January 2nd.
January 2nd. Engineering. Mr. Farr.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to go with my close report. There's nothing really has been moving along right now. We're in a waiting period, but I reported that they were going to start Elm and Broadway. They have started it. I was out there today. They were milling the streets, so progress.
If I could just jump on your, I did go to the community block grant meeting. Myself and Mr. Farrell, we represent the borough most of the time. I've made the meetings. It was a mandatory meeting yesterday. They talked about the funding, how they intend to do the county funding, where instead of each municipality getting an allocation, that the municipalities would start to compete for the allocations. And the logic is that some of the amounts are so small that no municipality is able to really do a project with it. Runnemede is getting $33,500 this year. So we'll continue to get that. But next year, what they're thinking is a more competitive process. So for example, We did very well with the supplemental application because we're putting in the ADA compliant elevator and entrance. So they were willing to give us that extra $150,000 supplemental. The problem is that HUD is coming down with the idea that if the towns aren't spending the money, they're going to pull it back. And so the county, because of our agreement with them, they're trying to push us. And they basically made a list of some of the municipalities that haven't been spending their money. So they're warning everybody that they're in jeopardy of losing that money. And then any municipality that has shovel-ready projects can jump on it. But the timelines are very quick. So for example, everything has to be pretty much spent by May. They were very difficult with saying that, hey, this stuff has to get done. So I just want to make everybody aware that community block grant funds might start changing in the next, it's definitely going to happen. The freeholders have it on their agenda to change this process. They backed off in the past because there were some municipalities that used the funds to pay for, say, their senior bus, for salaries and things like that. Those municipalities will be able to opt out, but only for a certain amount of time, and then they will do that. And the last thing I'll say about it is there was a proposal, Gibbsboro, to utilize community block grant funds. What they did in Gibbsboro was they borrowed the money themselves, and their application was basically to reimburse themselves. So the money that they get, and Gibbsboro is a smaller municipality than ours, they get maybe, I think it was $19,000 or $20,000. The next 4 years, that $20,000 will offset their bond payment. So that was something else that they offered if a town wanted to go that direction. This way they could lock up the money for a period of time. It started basically, it's something they've been talking about doing. They had actually proposed that to us when we first were talking about the supplemental application, but because we did so well with the application, we didn't have to go that route. But it's something we might want to think about in the future. But remember, the CDBG money, the community block grant money, is only for limited areas, for limited tracts in our community, if everyone remembers the maps, or things that promotes, or for seniors and handicap issues. So it was a nice meeting at 4:30 till 6 o'clock last night that I got to go to. Public Works, Mr. Root.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, everything's going good. Leaves hit heavy last week. It came down hard with that rain. But they've been going around the new truck with one guy behind the wheel is a no-brainer. That thing does so much, it's so much faster with that. Obviously, the only problem is it's a 20-yard and not the 25-yard, so it's, actually I think it's a 15-yard.
I think it's 20.
Is it 20?
Yeah, but you're right, the 25 is down,
25
right?
is nicer, but.
So it was used, what streets, do you know where it was? Or
I've seen it
was
all
it back
over,
one?
yeah.
Oh, really?
They were flying around with that.
From my house today, I watched them do it. Harry came by and was watching. Fantastic. One guy.
In case you don't know, this truck is a multi-purpose truck. But with the leaf machine, it actually has a remote control in the vehicle. So it's a one-man vehicle. And just drives down, he has the remote working the vacuum, and it's so much quicker.
So Mike, how many does a regular truck take? How many men does it take? 3?
2 to 3.
Yeah, they use 3, probably could get away with 2,
Yeah.
but,
So this was only one gentleman was working,
yeah.
there wasn't
Now,
a rating
just-
on?
now you gotta rely on the people, get them nice in the street and all, you go up on the curb and all stuff like that. But, it's a lot stronger motor, so it doesn't need to rake as much.
And with the control, I noticed.
Well, the older motors don't suck up as much.
Mm.
So the rake kind of turns the leaves and loosens them up for the older motors. This new motor will take it right up.
It will really save a lot of money over the long run.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
I know.
So if you're
That's
very,
great.
very bored one day and you want to look at the leaf roller,
Well, my granddaughter was watching it.
It's worth it.
She was having fun. She made a video for her mother, and she was watching.
and just a reminder, this holiday season with the gift giving, put the cardboard out on recycling. Cardboard's at its highest right now. So the more you guys spend and give and then recycle, the more we make. So cardboard's doing very well right now.
Good.
And the new employees have been working out good with the 2 part-timers, and everything's working good, so the rest of the problem.
Okay, thank you.
Like you want to have everybody order more stuff online because everything costs a
online.
Yes.
We love Amazon.
All right.
Oh, please.
Or online order.
Parks and Recreation, Mr. Lobenstein.
Thank you, Mayor. Everything's winding down as far as soccer has ended now. I talked with Mr. Ford today. They had 175 players this year in the fall season. That's pretty good for a small town like this. It's a good amount of numbers. At the lake now, the aerator fountain is out. I had a couple of complaints on our Facebook page that the fountain is not working, and I said, well, it is not there. So we'll be back in the spring, and we'll go from there. The Facebook page has been doing very well. We're up to 1,610 likes, getting a lot of activity on it, and people have questions, I try to answer them, otherwise I send them to the department.
How about basketball? Has that started at this point?
Basketball is, they're practicing now. I was there the other day on Saturday, I believe, I went down, and Mr. Garcia, Joe Garcia was there with players. They were using the gymnasium.
Do you know their numbers yet? Do you know how many kids?
No, not yet. I texted Joe today, but he didn't get back to me. But I think they're doing pretty well.
Good.
You know, the organization seems to be, doing well. Softball, the well is in. The sprinkler system is in. They just have to hook it up now.
Was the electricity run? Do you know?
Yes, electricity was run.
It run, it is done.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's all there. And I guess they just have to tie the well into the sprinkler system. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I asked Harry via email if they were all done, and he did not respond, so I
That
will
was the
call
sprinkler
tomorrow.
company, right? He donated his time.
Yes,
Okay.
but we did get a bill for electric
Yeah.
above and beyond.
Oh, we have to look at that.
Yes, we'll go from there, and the rest is progress.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Administrators report, Mr. Dioria. You just want to at least even say hello, whatever you like to do. I know it's only been 2 days. You can say you did everything in 2 days, that's fine with me.
Everything is done. Hello, Mayor and Council. Yeah, this is my second day here, and past 2 days have been active with meeting people. I've had an opportunity to meet with the chief and sergeant and captain. We went over some of the ideas that the police department has. I've met with a lot of the council. John has stopped in, Craig has stopped in. The mayor has stopped in several times. And just right now, information gathering. Council's great. Everybody's been very welcoming to me and very supportive. In addition to all the staff, Joyce has been wonderful. Everything is going well. I have a lot of high hopes and work as a team and do some great things in Runnemede.
Great.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We welcome you.
Aboard.
Yes, thank you. Since you brought up Joyce, I forgot. Today is Joyce's birthday. We could sing happy birthday. Would that be a first at a council meeting? All right, that's okay. Okay, 29. Happy birthday, Joyce.
Thank you.
All right. Solicitor's report. Progress. Before we go to the engineer's report, I see Mr. Lucas, Mr. Law is here. Did you want to report anything at all, Mr. Law? We want to thank you.
Yes.
We want to thank you very much for what you've done for this town. Everyone knows that Bob stepped in. He's our qualified purchasing agent. He came in as interim CFO. He helped us out tremendously when his appointment expired. He begrudgingly took the extension for a little while, but we joke. He helped us out, and he's been helpful even with helping us find Mr. Dioria. So I want to thank you very much, Bob. I really appreciate it. And we wish you well in everything you do. Everything you do.
Thank you for everything.
He is still going to be our purchasing agent. By having a qualified purchasing agent, as Mr. Dioria knows, you can elaborate on that. I don't know the rules as well, but it allows us to.
Well, it allows us to procure services, goods and services, and we have higher levels for different thresholds in the quote process and bid process. It allows us to go higher levels without having to go into the bid process.
Yeah, so that's very
So,
advantageous for us.
In addition to that, the QPA and Bob, well versed in all the laws regarding purchasing in New Jersey, and we depend on that a lot, you know, and it's great to have.
Great, thank you. So we expect another year.
I'm happy, I'm happy.
Okay,
I did send Mr. Law an email the other day, thanking him for everything, and we're good friends with a friend of mine. We know each other in Woodbury, so we kind of a little kinship, but I sent him an email the other day, and he said, well, you're not getting rid of me so fast, I'm still gonna be your qualified purchasing agent.
very good. Thank you. Okay then, engineers report, we'll let you go.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to rely mostly on my report from last week's caucus, but I also submitted a written report today trying to document some things that happened in that past week. And I'll elaborate on what Bob said. Elm Avenue has started. One thing that we didn't talk about, and it's not in my report, is Harry was trying to get a sewer lateral installed on Broadway for the future bathroom addition at the Harry Williams building. And he started the process, but he did not have any funding to do that. So he basically stopped the process. I'm trying to wave my magic wand and get it to be done within the contract value through some of our if and where directed items. So I'm negotiating with Landberg to see if I can get that sewer lateral installed.
And the thought is just to get it in before the road is milled and
Right.
paved, and just get it to the edge of the building,
It would be behind the sidewalk.
behind the sidewalk.
From the center of Broadway to right behind the sidewalk near the senior center entrance, I think.
Okay.
That's what
What
we're
is
trying to
that
do.
for, Mayor?
If you remember, there was a proposal from the Camden County Improvement Authority to help us to make the bathrooms at the Harry Williams recreation area handicap accessible. So the new bathroom, instead of being behind the basketball net, not necessarily, it's not handicap accessible, they would help us with partial design or working with our borough engineer, funding to build this addition on the edge of the building, so where the double doors are, right by the parking lot. So the idea, though, is what Harry did, which was very proactive, was to say, well, wait a second, if we're going to move the bathrooms, there's going to need to be a sewer lateral brought in. The fact that the DOT is helping us with funding for this Elm Avenue, it does make sense to put this sewer lateral in prior to tearing up this road. The road's going to be torn up anyway.
Yeah.
So by leaving the lateral there, it'll help us with the connection once the bathroom's built. I think more than likely the county wants to do this with us, and I think it's something we should definitely entertain in the next few months and look at that, and this will be helpful.
So I'm working on that process, and I'll keep.
Do you have any drawings yet?
I don't believe we have any drawings. Do you have any idea of the cost of the lateral, though? Is it a?
Bob had, or Harry had gotten a number in the $6,500 range, but that was only to be 4 feet deep. The main is down at 9 feet.
Oh.
I think we should keep it as low as we can so that we can rely on gravity when we end up going to the bathroom. So I'm getting a cost to have it installed 9 feet deep from the center of the road to behind the sidewalk.
When it
So
comes
it's
up
gonna
to
be-
the
it's gonna be
building,
higher than that.
it'll be higher when it's up there, obviously.
Right. So the cost is.
But you want to go all the way down 9 feet, so I guess that's the.
It just leaves our options open, because we're trying, like you said, the addition would be on the Wawa side, so we have to run the sewer line all the way around the building. So we have to take advantage of as much depth as we can.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be more costly than the $6,500 if you had quoted, but I'm trying to get it within the contract value by playing with some of the more aggressive quantities.
So Jim, this Camden County Improvement Authority, they basically help with funding. They have it in Gloucester County too, are you familiar? So very similar. They've approached us. I think it's something that's beneficial for the community center. If we can do something like that, it would be a separate entrance, it would be a little waiting area plus this handicap area.
Yeah,
So-
I would work with Mark in order to maybe try to find the funding to.
Okay, great.
So, and I'll keep Bob in the loop as well. The phase 2 of the Borough Hall project, I reported that we're waiting on the delivery of the CMU block to be scheduled. That is still pending, so I do not have a start date for that yet, but as soon as I find out, I will notify everybody when that is supposed to be getting started. The South Oakland Avenue, Washington Avenue project, we submitted payment application number 3 last week, and we talked about at the caucus, we were able to extend the project limits to mill all the way out to Evesham. We were able to stay under the contract value and still have that work done. The only thing that has to be done yet is striping out there, and then as soon as that's done, we'll be able to close out the project with the final change order. And at caucus, I was hoping to get that change order on tonight's agenda, but all the work's not done. And I need those quantities so I can zero out the as-built quantities. The master plan reexamination, it's my understanding that the public meeting is going to be January.
The meeting got
2018.
postponed, yes, because of, it would have been a December meeting. The chairwoman Hammer requested to postpone it.
So the public meeting for that will be in January 2018. The redevelopment study is still going to be talked about at the December meeting, so Steve Bach will be at that meeting to address any comments from the planning board. The parking lot out here adjacent to Borough Hall, we're trying to close out that project. One item is tonight's resolution 17-169, which is the final change order. We have a 3.8% increase, or $8,379. Those values were already discussed months ago, and Rich Wright and Greg Anderson have the money in the budget for that, so it should just be procedural to get that approved. It was basically to adjust the as-built quantities, and we had some supplemental items that were added to the project. The phase 1 of the Borough Hall, we have payment application number 3 in process right now, and we were trying to get all the closeout documents and the final punch list done with that work. And sanitary sewer slip lining, we submitted a payment application number 3. The contractor is also trying to get additional costs, and we are currently writing a letter denying that request based on the way the contract was written. Caliber Collision, it's a site inspection we were doing. I talked about this a little bit at caucus.
How'd that work out?
We were able to get it inspected and recommended a 60-day temporary certificate of occupancy. All the site-related items were installed with the exception of some lighting, so they were able to put some temporary fence up.
Okay, so,
And that's going to keep people out of the parking lot that's not lit sufficiently. And once that light is installed, then we'll be able to go out and re-inspect.
okay.
We gave them 60 days, and I worked with Chris Mecca on that, and he was,
So the TCO started on Monday?
it was, our approval was there for site improvements. I think Fred Liberty was still dealing with some fire-related
Yeah,
issues, so I don't know if that was actually approved or not. But as far as our office was concerned,
Are they planning to open up for business?
They planned to open up, or at least bring employees in on the 4th, but there were some issues with obviously getting the CO, and there was an issue with the fire marshal's office. Joyce, do you know if Fred resolved that with Caliber? Okay.
so,
Yeah, I don't know if they opened, or, it was a soft opening. I think they were bringing employees in, I think they were doing that. It wasn't necessarily open for business as much as it was just the employees.
So there's still some issues we're trying to resolve on going forward with future projects that go through the planning board to make sure we're involved from the get-go, as opposed to trying to inspect it after the fact. So we're going to be trying to get those issues resolved. And Deluxe Bakery, I have the red lines that we talked about, Mayor, so I don't know if you want to review them, go over it with the owner, or...
I can.
I'll
If
talk
you give them
about
to
it.
me, I can meet with the owners.
And then I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page before I go to the county. I have to present those to the county engineer and hopefully get administrative approval.
So you don't want to present them first, you want to
I
go,
want to make sure
everyone's on the same.
everybody's on the same page, so we'll go
Is
over
this
that.
all part of the construction that was done in the spring for Clemens Bridge Road? Is this part of
No,
that?
it was from before that.
What actually?
This is when Deluxe Bakery put the new garage entrance in. They bought a new piece of equipment. During that time, they had made arrangements with the county to do some improvements to their entrances. The problem is the way that it was designed by the county and through Deluxe, when their contractor went out there to look at it, he felt that it wasn't going to work. So we went back and basically said that the county wouldn't put the curbing in. So
It's up to the
Deluxe wasn't
owner.
required to put the curbing in. So if the municipality puts the curbing in, Deluxe is willing to finish the project, put the sidewalks in, and do their aprons. So we've been working to get a drawing that would pass muster with the county, so we could put these curbs in.
This goes back a few years.
It does, and the problem is at the time, the county was doing all the work on Clemens Bridge Road, so that
Remember?
held it up also. So we're finally close, and as Mark just said, we still need the county's final blessing on whatever we do there. So what he's saying is that I have to go back to the owners and show them these new drawings so that their contractor can look at them again. Now, the part is that the curbing would be part of the borough, so that would be subject to our rules of bid process and all that. Whereas the contractor who's doing the aprons and the sidewalk and the parking lot improvements, that would be subject to that. So it gets a little convoluted.
But I just want to let you know those plans are done so we can start that
Okay.
coordination process.
Okay.
Well, that's good, it's moving along.
It's getting.
It's getting, yes. And that concludes my report, unless anybody has any additional questions.
No? Very good.
Okay.
Is the Sports Depot place open?
Yes,
And it does have a CO?
it has a TCO, is my understanding.
Was that your,
That was,
TCO without limitation? That's what happened.
okay. What do we have now? We have public comment on agenda items. Anyone in the audience, if you wish to speak upon, this portion of the meeting is open to discuss the upcoming votes. This portion of the meeting is open. Does anyone wish to speak on the upcoming agenda items? Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the agenda items?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Lobenstein. All in favor?
Aye.
The public portion is closed. New business. Resolution 17-168 is a resolution authorizing agreement between the Animal Welfare Society and the Borough of Runnemede for animal shelter services. Joyce, this is our
This is our contract, right?
This is our annual agreement for $1,050.
This is, $1,050 a month, went up $600 for the year.
Ms. Patsy would like to have a final copy.
Oh, yeah, confidential.
Okay? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Patsy, second by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please. Is there any other discussion on that? I mean, it's a typical. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Passier?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Powell? And Mr. Maneri?
Yes.
And, I'm sorry.
Six ayes, the motion, the resolution is adopted.
I just wanted to let you know that I received two proposals. I
Animal
gave
control.
to Jim for the actual animal warden. The gentleman from, that we brought on last year, who I know tonight, upped his price considerably. And the one that had upped
Previous.
his price the year before dropped his price considerably. So I gave them both to Jim to look at, so we still have to,
We'll have to award that in January.
the award, and we could do it in January, the end of December.
At the end of December, we can award it.
Christine, you know what the charge is now to pick up the straw?
It would be in that application, right?
Yeah. it should
We
be.
can look at
Yeah,
it.
let me look at this contract. Oh, no, this is the shelter.
Oh, this is the
I think
shelter.
the other one.
Okay.
Joyce, were they both efficient, both guys, even though the price is different?
No complaints.
I
Did you get
like,
complaints?
I like the one we had last year better because he sent monthly reports to us, so we could see who was brought to the hospital. And that wasn't a consistent feature for Mr. Shabbat.
Yeah.
What's his increase? How much?
He went $7,300 he wants, and the,
What was it?
it was, what was it?
6,000.
A month.
Yeah.
72, you only have $100.
It's not much.
It was 6,000. What was the other guy? He was 5,900 or
It
something
was
like
57 he dropped it.
So 72, 70 to 57, I think we have to go with 57. I think the only thing we do is ask him, he's got to do reports. I don't think that's unreasonable.
I think we'll do that.
So what we need, we'll make the agreement.
Do we pay the animal?
Well, the other
Well,
gentleman,
here's the difference.
Probably either quarterly or,
what?
we pay him monthly or quarterly?
Monthly.
Monthly.
So you don't get reports?
If we don't get a report, we don't pay.
So
But
write a
it's-
little note that says, upon receipt of the report, Borough wishes.
Well, we can look at Jim has the agreement now, we can look at the agreement and see if it actually says it in the agreement,
Right,
or
so-
we can add it.
Or we can add it, yeah. Okay.
I have both of the proposals. What I was going to do, because of the volatility of the prices year to year, and what Joyce
Yeah,
was
it's
speaking
an up
about,
and down thing.
I wanted to compare the services
Correct.
from one to the other. Although the 5,700 is much
More attractive.
more attractive as far as price goes, we want to make sure that
Services.
The services
are
are.
in line. And if the 5,700 ends up, we need more services, we can surely ask him to include some services that we're used to. And I don't think that
And he was our guy for a long time.
Correct, he was the one with the.
For 10 years.
That's the one
Yeah.
that always won the county bid, because the
Yeah.
county used to bid it out, and then decided not to do it anymore.
He was a long time here, at least a decade, right? Yeah. Okay, we'll follow up on that. Resolution 17-169 is a resolution approving a change order for Lambert Construction for the municipal parking lot. That was the amount that Mr.
I'll make a motion.
Bayshore just said, the $8,379.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
6 ayes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 17-170 is a resolution confirming 2017 appointments. This is for the Public Works/Sewer Department. Larry Bonacci, license operator, C2, effective from 11/22/17 at $500 a month. And Joe Smith, backup license operator, C2, effective 11/22/2017, $250 a month. And James Kasner, temporary labor at $13.99 per hour. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Root, second by Mr. Farrell. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
6 ayes.
Right, the resolution is adopted. Resolution 17-171 is a resolution providing for the insertion of special items of revenue in the budget of the Borough of Runnemede pursuant to the New Jersey Statute 48-487, Chapter 159. This is what they allow us to do to put insertion. This is our Safe and Secure Communities Grant Program for $23,144. We were awarded that, so we're injecting that into our current budget fund, correct? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Passio, motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Passio. Discussion, just to let everyone know, this number now has doubled since last year because we have increased our police department size. Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And Mr. Root?
Yes.
6 ayes.
Right, this resolution is adopted. Resolution 17-172 is a resolution authorizing the Borough of Runnemede to enter into an interlocal contract for cooperative purchasing with Houston Galveston Area Council. Mr. Law, our qualified purchasing agent, has reviewed this. This will help us in purchasing of large pieces of equipment. It expedites the bid process and is beneficial to us. We're not obligated to use it, but it gives us the opportunity to use it. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Root, second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
And Mr. Root?
Yes.
6 ayes.
This resolution is adopted. Resolution 17-173 is a resolution authorizing a shared services agreement between the Borough of Runnemede and the Borough of Magnolia for municipal court services. This is the required certified court administrator. Her name is Kathy Lawson. The agreement states that the Borough of Magnolia will hire her, and we will split her cost, the cost of this employee, 50-50 basically, of all costs for this employee. And this employee will work 50% in the Borough of Magnolia and 50% in the Borough of Runnemede. It's been reviewed by our solicitor, so we're good to go. Any motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Mr. Farrell. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
6 ayes.
All right, this resolution is adopted. That agreement starts January 1st. Okay, we have payment of bills. Is there a motion to pay the monthly bills?
I so move.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Kelly, second by Mr. Lobenstein. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Passio?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri?
Yes.
6 ayes.
The bills will be paid. Good and welfare. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone. No. Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the good and welfare?
I make a motion for good and welfare.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Passio, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
I think Ms. Passio did in her report. Oh, the end of the year meeting date. Mr. Diori, typically has it been advertised already? Oh, it's already advertised. What is our end of the year
It's
meeting?
the 28th.
We have typically our end of the year meeting on the 28th to do any kind of adjustments. It's basically our /caucus / end of the year meeting. It's typically an abridged meeting.
It was actually called an adjourned meeting, it's not a caucus.
It's an adjournment meeting.
Adjourned meeting. 6 o'clock, I believe we have.
Is it 6
scheduled
o'clock,
for.
or-
Yeah, it's changed the date, the time if you
It
want.
was earlier, wasn't it?
We
Okay.
used to do it at 4. We used to do it.
Correct.
Does anybody have a preference when we do the December 28th?
8th, it's a Thursday, I believe.
Well, I have to get.
I mean, if you're going to be there, it's an adjournment meeting, so we could do it early. Would that hurt you?
Well, yeah, I'd have to leave work early.
Or just do 6 o'clock?
Leave it at
6 is
6.
fine for me.
6? Mr. Farrell?
Yeah, stay with 6.
Okay, 6 p.m. So our next meeting will be December 28th, Thursday evening at 6 p.m. It's just an adjournment meeting to do any adjustments, anything that has to be closed out before the end of the year. So it's not a true caucus meeting, it's just an
So
adjournment.
6 o'clock, right?
6 p.m.
And it's the adjourned meeting?
Yes.
It's the
Adjourned
adjourned
meeting.
meeting.
Transfers or anything like that. Okay, and as Mrs. Pinto's birthday present, we will ask for an adjournment and get done out of here very early. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Ms. Pansio, seconded by Mr. Longstein.